Thank you.
I'll be gone, set my course for the beyond, past these headlands. A lifetime out of touch, my divine creator's love. I tried to live in peace, but life lived me. Your only son said suffering's the price you pay to win. Guess I'm ready to start losing again. Mother Mary, find me, I'll be gone. Set my course for the beyond.
Hello, viewers. It is James Kalm, Vast Reporter, and we are on Orchard Street on the Lower East Side. We're gonna bop in here to McKENZIE, and we're going to try to snag an artist for a little discussion about his latest show of work. Gary Petersen. Does the show have a title here at McKENZIE? Does it have a title?
The Shape of Walking.
The Shape of Walking.
Yeah, what do you think?
I'm good. I'm going to walk. Come with me and walk with me, and we'll see if we're in good enough shape to keep walking. Although,
these are colored pencil drawings.
Right, you said you've already been here meeting and greeting for like 2 or 3 hours, right? So you're probably tired. We'll make this as painless as possible. And these are what? That's 13 by 10, something like that?
Something like that.
Okay. I was also saying that you have recently had a series of shows in Europe. You were in Munich, I know.
Yes, a show with Walter Storm's gallery in Munich.
Walter Storm's gallery.
So I had a solo show with him in April.
Oh, that's great.
And this is my 4th solo with Valerie McKenzie.
You have to get the list there so you can remember the titles?
Well, and also the sizes, too. You
Okay.
can ask me the sizes if you like.
Absolutely. And these
So,
are...
yeah, you're close, 12 by 9, the colored pencil.
All right, I'm pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And this is 60 by 72 inches.
This is oil on canvas?
No.
Mixed media?
It's all acrylic.
Well, you used to use oil paint, didn't you? Or you...
So you'll see a couple with the ivory white
Okay.
is oil, but then in 2024 I switched for many different reasons to reproduce that color but in acrylic.
Okay, well, let's keep
And some
moving.
of the newer moves in a painting like this is the underpainting. You see these swirly lines.
Sure.
And then white it out. So that's sort of a little new, where the older work had more straight lines underneath.
Okay,
And
let's
this one
keep
is
going.
called Shifting Echoes. So all the paintings in the show are 2023 into 2024, as well as the books on paper. And this one's called Double Up, 2023, 60 by 48.
I was going to say that I kind of noticed because I've been following some of the stuff that you post on Instagram.
Following a long time, but
Yes, and I've been doing reports of you since,
10 years or more.
what was her name? Teresa, out at 56 Bogart Street.
Oh, Stephanie Theodore.
That's right, Stephanie Theodore. And so we're keeping the tradition going. What I was going to say, though, is that I kind of noticed in some of the work in this new period is that you're using these kind of dividing things, like this bar here, and some of the things are more explicitly kind of splitting the compositions up a little
Correct,
bit
so
more.
divided, but it also works as a whole. So
Right.
It plays with your eye, and not quite, almost as if there's an echo of the top to the bottom, but a lot changes in that translation that occurs.
And this pinstriping, are you doing that with tape, or do you have a special little pinstriping brush that you use for the...
No, Shazil, it's with tape. with the
Oh, that's right. You've got this
Nishabon tape.
special tape.
That special
I remember.
Japanese tape. You remember that?
Yes, I do. These are just some graphite drawings.
Yeah.
These are square, right?
These are square, 11-inch squares.
So that'll be a whole thing.
What's the title of this piece?
This is Let's Dance 2024 50 by 36 acrylic on canvas.
50 by 36, so we're basically talking 4 by 3 feet. I've got another question. Well, there's been kind of a discussion. I know when I was at the Armory Show, people were talking about the market turning down and this and that. Some other people were saying, well, it's also the fact that figurative painting has been very popular in the New York area, maybe totally in the world as far as the art market goes. And there seems to be, maybe we've reached a saturation point with figuration. So as an abstract painter, what are your ideas about that? Do you think that there is a new wave of young abstract painters that are coming on and people are paying more attention to that maybe?
It's hard to answer because you're dealing with the market per se.
Yes.
Abstraction's always been around, figuration's always been around, and I know that the market swings a little bit, but I think there's good abstraction, both older and younger. And in terms of the gallery market, they probably have shown recently more figurative work. I don't know, you go see a lot of shows, maybe you've seen more abstraction with this season.
Well, that's one of my last episodes was kind of dealing with that whole question.
Oh, I know, I didn't watch that one. No, check that out. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving on. This is we just talked to the young lady that purchased this piece. Carol's that?
Colored pencil and paper, 10 by 14. And there's also one in the back room here too. Not in the show, but it's in the back room.
Technically, it's not in the show.
Right.
But
if you come back, you consider it in the show.
How about your color theory? Do you have a color theory at all?
I don't have a color theory at all. I've just followed, I follow the paintings, and I think it's at my age, finding your voice and refining the interests you have. And I think I can look back to the past and say, okay, being a kid of the 60s,
right.
So much influence of things Disney cartoons and
psychedelic posters.
And posters.
Right.
And whatnot. I remember as a kid we had a black and white TV, and it was a big deal when my dad finally bought a color television, So that kind of plays into your psyche.
So it's more just intuitive rather than some kind of a theoretical or...
definitely intuitive.
Okay.
Coming from inside, finding your voice with color, and always having fun to keep moving forward and experimenting.
But you don't make a decision like, I'm not going to use any browns or any earth tones or anything. You everything is open, right?
Everything is open. Depends how it works. The paintings tells you where it wants to go sometimes.
And you just listen to the damn paintings.
Certainly some of these paintings have changed. The color has changed a bit, certain shapes of what I thought the color should be.
Right.
And then you come in the next day and go, that doesn't quite work.
Okay.
What is it telling me that it wants to be? So that's how it works.
Listen to the paintings.
Listen to the paintings.
Standing there. Okay.
24, 60 by 44. And this is again all acrylic.
Was that a big change for you when you decided to go all acrylic, or just something you did as practicality?
The only oil that I've heard in the past few years have been the ivory white color was oil. Now this is acrylic as well, but I changed over to acrylic back a good, where are we, about 13 years ago? Prior to that, I was an oil painter. But when this vocabulary started to develop with these separate shapes all floating around, it didn't really work well doing it in oil.
Okay.
And that was when I was at the Maria Will Sharp studio program.
Yes.
In 2011. And I started to work with acrylics, and it took a little while to get a feel for it and learn what acrylics can do. but now I'm fully painting with acrylics.
What's the title on this piece?
This piece, let's look it up, is Wiggle Room.
Wiggle Room.
2024 and 44 by 60.
I would just say, because I've been watching you work for a long time, that I think this is also, I mentioned some of the pieces that are kind of divided geometrically. This one is more, like you say, squiggly. So rather than maybe having straight bars that are kind of dividing the space, you're using some long, curvy,
and
sensual forms there.
If you know my early work from the 90s, it had curvy shapes. So it's sort of...
Well, you actually worked on some shaped canvases as well that were curved. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you sort of see that part of you coming back into the mature work.
It's always good, don't throw away good ideas.
No, not at all. The title of this one is called Undercover.
Undercover, okay.
2024. And this is 50 by 36.
So this one is also all acrylic, or is that?
It's all acrylic.
Yeah,
correct.
okay, that's what I was going to say. It looks like the ivory is. Because part of this stuff about the oil paint was you squeegee that on, and it seemed to have like a little different surface.
Sort of texture, but it was causing me problems, and I realized I should work on mixing an acrylic paint that matched that out of the tube ivory white that I was using.
What kind of problems?
Oh, you get bubbles, trying to go over multiple times, taping it off, squeegeing it across, getting a little piece of dirt in there that caused
I think technically those are called boogers.
Yeah, okay. Next morning coming in a fly in it, and because of palette knifing across, it became a problem to try to redo it.
Okay, we're gonna.
And if I ever have to shift them and whatnot, it's easier to roll them up than the expense of crating. And this one is called Garden of Music after Bob Thompson's painting.
Bob Thompson, yes, we love Bob Thompson.
So when
and this is the largest piece in the show?
Yes.
Okay, don't tell me. Let me guess. This is.
See how good you are.
Okay, 54. That's what I was going to say. 54 by 96, something like that.
Very good. 54 by 94.
54 by 94, and this has got the oil paint.
This is the oil. This is from 2023.
So if we look closely, you can sort of see the difference there in the surface. There is more of a physical presence of the blocks of color there. I think this also kind of goes to what I was talking about, because this is very clearly kind of divided right there.
Correct.
So that's nice. And this is 2023? Is that when this is?
2023, correct. No, sorry, 2024.
Oh, this is 2024?
Yeah, this is early
Okay.
2024, that's why
Okay.
it's 2023. Finished this in January of this year. And after I finished it, I've been a big Bob Thompson fan since the early 80s. And as a figurative painter, I love figurative.
Absolutely. No, he's one of the people I think that influenced a lot of local figurative painters.
Now more so than ever. But after I finished this painting, I kept thinking in my head of that Bob Thompson painting. So I said I have to title it after him. So hence the title. Garden of Music in parentheses.
He used to have a studio that was not that far away from here, up on Rivington Street.
Oh, not surprised, and you would know.
Well, I hear that the buildings inspector came by one day and walked up to the place and opened the door and looked in there and said, "Do you live here?" And Bob Thompson was painting and looked at him and goes, "If you call this living." Anyway, Gary Petersen, congratulations.
Thank you so
What was
much.
the name of the show again?
The Shape of Walking.
The Shape of Walking
Up till October 20th.
at McKenzie Gallery. Thank you. Okay, you can like this, share, link it up to all your social media sites. You can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and suggestions below. And as we always say at the end of the show,
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Kate. Hello, friends. Well, it's James Kalm, half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike. And we are on historic Fifth Avenue. We're gonna pop in here for a little show by one of my friends, Greg Lindquist. I think the title of the show is Slow Burn. Let's check it out. Okay, well, we snagged Greg Lindquist. Slow Burn. Tell us about the show.
Well, I've got some flowers to contrast the paintings.
Okay, real fun. Congratulations. Okay. It's beautiful wife, Teresa. So you're calling the show Slow Burn.
Yep.
And I know that I've come by the studio when you've been working on this series of work. But at some point you were also calling this rolling coal.
Yep.
Was it something like that? Let's, matter of fact, start over and look at some of the paintings and we can talk about those ideas.
Like, rolling coal is the main theme or cultural practice in this work. So basically it's like these dudes in middle America, the rural South, basically country, modify their diesel trucks to spew out huge plumes of black smoke.
Now, did this also relate to, like, this is coal country, and in a certain way it was kind of a protest against all the anti-coal legislation and stuff that's coming down, the kind of
Absolutely.
the response against coal?
Just as much a protest against like stricter emissions regulations in 2012-ish Obama administration. So basically, you know, they want to protest environmentalism. There's actually no coal involved. It's all diesel smoke. But it kind of plays on...
But it is carbon fuel.
Totally. So it plays on like the nostalgia for coal burning fossil fuel electricity. And actually this kind of like striated, raked underpainting of grays is ash made from coal that was burned to make electricity that I...
So you actually took the ash and mixed it in with some acrylic resin or something and then used... Well,
with it. So there's different kinds of like indexable material here. Like this is actually smoke.
Okay.
I held smoke. I held the painting in front of
one of the diesels
exhaust,
blasting smoke.
and I tried to fix it with like a golden MSA varnish spray, and it kind of melted.
I was going to say, do you think that spray varnish is as toxic as the diesel exhaust fumes?
Probably, but I mean the thing is that like rolling coal like is kind of a symbolic act. It doesn't really create a lot of pollution, but it more is like, you know, it's a show.
Kind of dumbass stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's a performance.
I would never recommend that anybody bend over their exhaust pipes and suck in the smoke. But these were all based on things that you found online?
Yeah, they're all memes. So that's why I retained the square format as well. Because of that tyranny of the square of Instagram. But yeah, I mean, actually, I take that back. The image text are memes, and then I redacted some of the text to try to complicate the imagery and introduce a different element, those geometric bands. But then these were from found images on the web of dudes that stick their head in the exhaust and come out with a sooty face.
And God only knows what's going on in their lungs.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
And tell me about the painting technique. Is this is oil, but you've also mixed it with acrylic and various other kinds of things?
Metallics, there's like stainless steel, there's aluminum, there's like pearlescence, but it's oil paint. And this actually is kind of weird. It's kind of an interesting body of work because it has some of the techniques that I developed for the next body of work about wildfires. So this all is kind of glued together by the grid and by the square format. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your frames.
Yeah, so these are CNC milled. Collaboration with my friend Mike DeLucia, who's a sculptor who has a CNC milling machine. During the pandemic, we had this fever dream of making frames for these, and we, I was thinking about Hudson River School hand-carved wood paintings that have
Sure.
like acorns and like leaves in them, but these are actually from a digital scan of a mud pit or tire tracks that are then translated into a digital vector file that's carved in a milling machine that basically looks like broader to finer bits, like you're using a router almost.
Wow.
So it's like a high density foam that then I gesso and paint with stainless steel.
Paint with stainless steel.
I mean, all this work fits under a broader thesis of my work.
Yeah, there's a whole part of Middle America, the monster truck people, the the hot rodders, NRA people, drag racing.
Yeah, truck pulls. I mean, I promised myself in high school when in a rainstorm, slid off into a ditch and a big monster truck with a winching cable that this dude had never used before, put the winching cable over the back frame of my car and pulled it out of the ditch when I was in high school. And I was like, I'll never make fun of a monster truck ever again, but little did I know I'd be making a series of paintings about them.
Well, yes.
Well, this used to say roll coal, not blunts, but I thought it would be funny to redact part of it and say roll blunts. And this says secondhand smoke.
And what is this with the mosquito?
Oh, well, that's a reference to the smoke being referred to as Prius repellent.
Police repellent.
Implying that the Prius is a pesky mosquito.
Oh, a Prius repellent. Okay. All right.
So I tried to add some little Easter eggs in there.
Okay, Greg Lindquist, slow burn and rolling coal. Congratulations on the opening. We're here at 55 Fifth Avenue, a very historic neighborhood in New York.
Thanks for visiting, James.
Well, we've been friends for many years. We met at the Brooklyn Rail.
That's right.
And are both friends with the wonderful Fong Bui. All right.
Happy birthday, Fong. It's his
Happy
60th
birthday.
today.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Lord.